Hello, we're making a video. Today we're going to take a look at the top teams for the Open Great League for the new season. PvPoke is not updated yet for the new season, which is not really that relevant for the Open Great League because there is not going to be a lot of change in this. We're going to still have a pretty similar meta with Registeel, Stunfisk pretty high up there, Mage going to be everywhere, Noctowl going to be everywhere, Pilliper very decent, Lantern. I don't know if Lantern is as good in the blind format, definitely good in the show 6 spring 3 format, but like in the blind format it's still very decent, but like not the craziest. Bastion going to be pretty much everywhere again. This Pokemon is very good in the current meta right now. We have Gliscor, which is a cool core breaker for the top meta. Lickitung a little bit tricky to play right now, same for Sableye, but still Sableye is a little bit more play than Lickitung right now as well. Otherwise, all the good stuff that you know already. Mantine is an interesting Pokemon. Umbreon, we're going to have a team with that later on as well. We have some teams that hit rank 1 on the leaderboards last season, so it's going to be an interesting one. Let's take a look at the top teams. First team here going to be around the newly buffed Jellicent to Surf. There's going to be another team for Jellicent afterwards, which I actually like a little bit more than this one, but this one still should work pretty okay-ish. We're going to have here the Jellicent in the lead, we're going to have the Gliscor as a swap, and we're going to have the Altaria in the back. Two Pokemon weak to Ice-type moves in the back, while you have a Pokemon in the lead that is basically walling most Ice-type Pokemon here, which is going to be nice. If you encounter a Frostless, of course they would still have Shadow Ball for you, but you're still also going to be able to hit them harder with Hex plus Surf plus Shadow Ball, as well as you're going to be able to hit them with Night Slash with your swap of Gliscor. Basically, the team idea here is trying to sweep endgame with the Altaria, trying to bait out everything that you don't really want to face with it, because the combination between Altaria as well as the Jellicent is pretty decent unless you face a Registeel. For that regard, against Registeel, you can still go for one Shadow Ball or Surf in the beginning and then swap out trying to catch a move on the Gliscor. And even Altaria can win against the Registeel after a while if you have still some shields left, because the fast move damage just adds up enough. So let's go into the next team. Second team here now, we're going to have the Registeel in the lead, and we're going to have the swaps of either the Sableye as well as the Pelipper. They can both work. You can also use the Jellicent completely, like get the Jellicent out of there and just use the Sableye as a Pokemon in the back there. I feel like that Pelipper might be a little bit better because you're going to be able to be more neutral against some more stuff. While you can get, for example, kind of hard walled from the potential Noctowl that you can get into the Sableye there. But it's very likely to bait out the Noctowl with the Pelipper, where you can still fight back, as you're going to have a very good answer for Noctowl in the lead. You really want to get rid of the Noctowl anyway, as you're going to have your Jellicent there in the back that doesn't really want to face that one either. So yeah, this should be a pretty balanced team as well. Two Pokemon in the back that can deal with fighting type Pokemon, as well as a Pokemon in the lead that's a little bit weak to them. So I think that's a very good team. Next to me are going to be a team that also worked out pretty well basically in the prior seasons already. We're going to have the Galarian Stunfisk in the lead here, and then you can either have the swap of the new Fairy Wind version of Whimsicott. Amazing! What a nice update. Or the Sableye here as well. Sableye would work. You can also use the Pelipper as a swap, and then you can use either Pelipper, Sableye, or Whimsicott, no matter what. Like, basically, you can actually put every Pokemon here on either position there. They're all decent swaps, they're all decent closers, so, like, whatever you want to do here, to be fair, you can do. Like, for me, I built this team here, as you can see as well, more for having the Whimsicott as a swap, and then the Jumpluff in the back as a closer, because Jumpluff has basically only nuke moves. But you can also play it a little bit differently, but this is definitely a good team to use, and let's go into the next one. The next team is going to be most likely my favorite team from the last season. We're going to have the Medicham in the lead. We're going to have the swap of the hopefully Shadow, but you can also use the normal one, Alone Ninetales here with Powder Snow. You could also use Charm, by the way, as a swap. It depends on what you face in the meta, because now before, like, there was nothing really where you needed Charm for this Pokemon. Now, if you encounter a lot of Jellicent leads, for example, you might want to go for Charm, because then you have two good answers with that. Otherwise, just gonna go for Powder Snow, which helps you more out against something like Galarian Stunfisk. But then you're going to have the Charmer in the back there, which is going to be the Granbull there. Shadow Granbull has to be kind of Shadow, because normal one doesn't just do enough damage anymore after the nerf of Charm, but still the other one, the Shadow one, still does a ton of damage. which allows you to trap in Pokemon like Medicham, for example, or the Sableye as well. There were a lot of Sableyites last time around, so definitely something that you can play here. Was one of the teams that also a lot of other people used to hit Legend with, like a lot of viewers used, I saw them. But yeah, this was a team that I created last season, was really nice, and would recommend you again. If you have a double, I can definitely recommend you this team. I played this team myself as well, but also someone else reached, I think, rank 3 on the leaderboards with this team last season. We're going to have the double here. Actually, I think I have the wrong moveset on the double, but it doesn't really matter. It really depends on what you want to play with the double. You can either use the move Payback or the move Wild Charge. Both of them are fine. They played with a Wild Charge. I played on my video. If you want to take a look at my channel, there's a playlist for Great League videos anyway. I played with Wild Charge as well. I found that I needed Payback a little bit more than Wild Charge, but Wild Charge can help you out in a few scenarios as well, especially against opponents' Noctowl, which you can definitely face more often with that one as well. But yeah, it really depends on what you want to run. Both of them are fine, but this team is really good, but also very meta, of course. Next team here going to be actually more like a meme team. First off, this is the team right now which has the highest defense stat other than Shuckle for Pokemon Go Great League, which is kind of interesting. It's going to have the highest defense stat, so you're going to have a very bulky team here. This is not really based on trying to fit together the best Pokemon, it's just trying to fit together the bulkiest Pokemon. And when I tried it out last season, at least, I went on a 7-game win streak and had greater results overall. But also, this year it still should work out pretty well, unless the gel isn't going to be insanely meta and going to be everywhere, which I don't really expect to see, because there is just this meta right now with Noctowl and Lantern, which makes this meta not, like, which makes Jellicent not really the best meta Pokemon right now. But like if it would be very popular, this might be a team that you might not want to use, but if anything else, you still should be fine with that one here. Because you're going to have a very balanced team. Still, you have the Sasop here by the way of Toxapex trying to get out potential ground types that you don't want to face with your Bastion. Bastion is so good at sweeping games, it's insane. I love this team last season because Magcargo is like such a cool Pokemon to play. Like this is something that you don't really expect to see that often, but you're going to be able to bait out Pokemon that you don't want to face with your Pokemon in the back, which is going to be the Bastion again here. And you have the Trevenant in the lead, which is going to be able to destroy potential Swampert, potential fighting type Pokemon, all that good stuff, while your Sasop here of Magcargo is trying to basically lure out the Pokemon that the Bastion doesn't want to face, and you have Overheat or the Rock Tomb or Stone Edge, whatever you want. Rock Tomb I actually would recommend you, by the way. I know like some people said, oh, Stone Edge does more damage and is less energy. Yes, but Rock Tomb allows you to have a way better Sableye matchup, which in my opinion is a key matchup for you as well. So yeah, this is something that I really would recommend you to try out as well. Very cool team, very fun team as well, especially with the Magcargo. Such a fun Pokemon to use. Next to me are going to be a team that someone reached rank 1 in the world with that. I have a video on my channel as well for this one. We're going to have the Medicham in the lead, we're going to have the Sasop of the Umbreon, and we're going to have a Charizard in the back. Charizard's going to be a very good closer, especially if you get into a situation where you can farm down something with this Pokemon or have a shield advantage. Because Blast Burn doesn't even care if it's like resisted or not, like it literally doesn't matter about this Pokemon, it's just going to hurt. The main idea here as well is you're going to have a lead that is very good against those, especially rock-type Pokemon like the Bastion, and you're going to have a Sasop that's very neutral. Like the Sasop of Umbreon is insanely neutral against a lot of Pokemon here, even against like counters, which you might think. For example, if you have one fast move advantage, you will be able to win the Zero Shield scenario against a Medicham without like Power Punch or Dynamic Punch with the Umbreon, which is kind of wild because they do a super effective damage the entire time while you have neutral damage. But yeah, this team is very good. Someone hit rank 1 in the world with that. I have a video on my channel about this team as well, so check that out. The next team also reached rank 1 in the world at one point last season, which we're going to be here now. Tapu Fini in the lead, the Sasop of Gliscor, and the Galarian Stunfisk in the back, which is going to be a very strong team as well. Has some weaknesses though, like for example, Obama Snow might be one of the Pokemon where you can just instantly top left if you face it in the lead. But other than that, definitely a cool team. Again, rank 1 in the world team. Made a video about this last season as well. Very strong team. Worked out pretty well. It's a lot of fun to play as well because like Tapu Fini is a cool Pokemon to use. If you don't have one, you have to trade for this Pokemon. Azumarill is a good alternative for that Pokemon, of course. But yeah, that's going to be it for this team. Let's go into the next one. The final team going to be the cheapest team that you can run right now. And if I say cheap, I mean it's easier to build. You don't need any XL Pokemon. Those Pokemon don't even need to be very high level either. And the second charge move, which is very important in PvP, like if you start new into it, like second charge move with coverage is really, really important. So don't like think that Pokemon without a second charge move will be as good as one with the second charge move. It's very important. Like it's actually something that I didn't really realize in the beginning when I started PvP. I never double moved my Registeel, but it's actually super important to have a secondary charge move to have coverage. Here, for example, we're going to have a 10k charge move unlock for the Obstagoon. Was in the community day recently as well. And then you're going to have Altaria, needs 400 candy to evolve, has a special move that you might want to have with the Moonblast, but it's not needed. Dazzle Gleam or also the Dragon Pulse still will work out really well. And also this Pokemon was featured in the recent Hoenn tour, so like you should have some candy for this Pokemon. And then we have Noctowl, which was also featured a lot already this year and is currently one of the best Pokemon. Sazor appears Noctowl, by the way, not the Altaria. Please use a Noctowl for that. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like on it. There's always a lot of work to do those. I hope they can do another one for the Fantasy Cup, which I think is coming out as well today. But depends if PvPoke updates their website, because otherwise I cannot do the graphics, and otherwise it's kind of awkward to find those teams. But yeah, that's going to be it for this. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye.